Have you ever caught yourself saying, "I'm sorry," when you've done absolutely nothing wrong? You apologize when someone bumps into you on the subway. You apologize for not being able to pick up the phone. You apologize for simply existing and taking up space. Society has conditioned us to believe that a constant readiness to apologize is a sign of good upbringing, empathy, and politeness. But in reality, behind this noble facade lies a trap you fall into every single day. Your politeness is carefully weaponized under the guise of virtue to make you compliant. You don't even suspect that every unjustified apology isn't a show of respect for another person. It's a signal to predators. It's a marker that your boundaries can be breached. Welcome to Soul Alchemy, and today we are tearing off the masks. We are going to break down the things you should never apologize for, even if the whole world is pressuring you. Because the flip side of your politeness is the loss of your self-respect. Before we dive in, I want you to take a deep breath. If you recognized yourself in these words, don't rush to blame yourself. You are not a weak or foolish person. The fact that you constantly try to keep the peace is not your conscious choice. It's an evolutionary survival mechanism that's been hardwired into you since early childhood. Our brains are programmed to seek social approval. In ancient times, being exiled from the tribe meant certain death. That's why we are terrified of being the bad guy, terrified of disappointing others, terrified of conflict. We were taught that good boys and girls, the classic people pleasers, don't argue, always yield, and are the first to apologize for the sake of peace in the family or the group.
But today, a saber-toothed tiger isn't going to eat you if you say no. Today, your main enemy is manipulators who perfectly understand how this childhood fear of rejection works. They use your guilt as a remote control. And right now, I'm going to show you how to see things as they truly are, how to recognize this cunning game and take back your control. There are things to which your right is absolute and undeniable, but it is precisely for these things that you will be forced to apologize the most. Number 1, saying no without an explanation. What do we see on the facade? We think that if we just say no, we sound rude. We feel obligated to provide a valid reason, a doctor's note, an alibi, or a detailed report on why we can't help someone or go somewhere. But what is actually happening? The second you start explaining your no, you hand over your power to the other person. The hidden truth is that manipulators don't see your explanations as reasons. They see them as an invitation to negotiate. Imagine a real-life example. A coworker asks you to cover their shift on your hard-earned day off. If you say, "I'm sorry, I can't. My mom is sick and I still need to clean the house," your coworker will immediately find a loophole. "Oh, the cleaning can wait, and you can visit your mom in the evening. Come on, do me a solid." Remember, the word no is a complete sentence. It doesn't require commas. You should never apologize for the fact that your time belongs only to you. Number 2, your need for rest, silence, and isolation. The facade. If you cancel a meetup because you're exhausted, if you don't answer your phone on your day off, or if you lock yourself in your room away from your family, you're a selfish person who only thinks about yourself. You're a bad friend, partner, or child. What is actually happening? Rest is a basic biological and psychological need. It's an act of self-preservation. When you are depleted, your psyche is literally begging for mercy. People who make you feel guilty for wanting to be alone aren't actually mad because they miss you. They're mad because they've temporarily lost access to your resources, to your energy, which they are used to consuming. If you apologize for going to sleep instead of going to a bar, or for turning off your phone for the weekend, you are telling the people around you, "My health is less important than your comfort." Never apologize for recharging your batteries. Number 3, your personal growth and changing your mind. The facade. You've changed so much. You're a completely different person now. You forgot your roots.
Society broadcasts the false idea that loyalty means always remaining equally convenient for your old friends and acquaintances. But what's the hidden truth? Personal evolution requires you to shed your old skin. If you started making more money, reading different books, going to therapy, or simply reevaluated your political views, you will inevitably become inconvenient for those who stayed in the same place. Your growth is a painful mirror for their stagnation. Your transformation triggers their envy and their fear of their own inadequacy. Example, you stop hanging out with a childhood friend who does nothing but complain about their life every time you meet, yet changes nothing. They will accuse you of betrayal. Do not apologize. You are not obligated to drown with those who refuse to learn how to swim. Changing your mind in light of new information is a sign of intelligence, not weakness. Number 4. Your success and financial well-being. The façade here is incredibly toxic. In our culture, there's a deeply rooted myth that being successful, happy, or wealthy around those who are struggling is tactless. You have to play small. You have to hide your joy so you don't make others uncomfortable. What are we actually seeing? When you downplay your achievements, you are engaging in self-sabotage. You are feeding someone else's immaturity. Toxic people love it when you feel guilty for the hard work that led to your results. It benefits them to have you stoop to their level, because then they don't have to admit their own laziness. If you get promoted at work and a relative snarkily drops, well, of course, not everyone gets that lucky in life. Your first reaction might be the urge to justify it, to say, oh, it was just a coincidence. Stop. Never apologize for what you've achieved through your own sweat, blood, and sleepless nights. Your competence is not an insult to someone else's laziness. Number 5. Your refusal to swallow toxic jokes. The façade sounds like this. Oh, you just can't laugh at yourself. You have no sense of humor. Lighten up. What is the truth? This is classic gaslighting. When a person throws a veiled insult at you or hits your insecurities under the guise of a joke, they are testing your boundaries. They are seeing how deep they can twist the knife while you still keep smiling at them. Picture a family dinner where a distant relative makes a biting comment about your appearance or your career. You tense up, call them out on it, and immediately hear, "Oh, why are you so serious? I'm just kidding." And then you apologize for ruining the mood. Let's tear off the mask. Just because someone calls an insult a joke doesn't make it any less insulting. If it's not funny to you, then it's not a joke. You should never apologize for demanding to be treated with respect. Your discomfort is your compass, and it doesn't lie to you.
So the masks are off. You've seen how these mechanisms work, but how do you live with this now? How do you avoid slipping into paranoia and aggressively snapping at every passerby? This is where ancient wisdom comes to our rescue, the philosophy of Stoicism. We need to rewire our mindset and adopt the position of a calm observer. Understand the core Stoic truth. You cannot control other people's manipulations, their expectations, or the world's lies. They will always try to force a sense of guilt onto you, but you, and only you, control your reaction. You need solid ground to stand on, and here is your first practical tool. Start using the linguistic flip technique. In situations where you'd automatically want to apologize, even though you're not at fault, replace the words "I'm sorry" with "thank you." Instead of fussing and saying, "Oh, I'm sorry I talked for so long," say with dignity, "Thank you for listening." Instead of, "I'm sorry I couldn't make it to the meeting," say, "Thank you for understanding my schedule." This linguistic trick instantly shifts the power dynamic in the conversation. You stop being the apologizing victim and become an equal partner who values the other person's time but doesn't degrade themselves. Adopt the observer stance. When people pressure you, demanding apologies for your valid boundaries, take a pause. Don't answer right away. Look at the person calmly and in silence. In that silence, you will see the manipulators start to squirm and their true colors will show. You don't need to fight them, you just need to stop playing by their rules. Maintain a clear mind. Your invulnerability lies not in aggression, but in your absolute inner peace and knowing exactly who you are. Those who truly love you will never make you feel guilty for your strength, your rest, or your right to say no. And those who do make you feel guilty, they don't love you. They love the power they have over you. Remember one simple thing. Your self-respect is worth far more than someone else's temporary comfort. And now I want to ask you, looking back, which of these illusions did you believe in the longest? What did you spend years apologizing for until you realized you were just being used? Let me know in the comments. Your experience might help someone right now to shed that heavy burden of guilt. Subscribe to Soul Alchemy to stop being an easy target and to always see the essence of things. See you next time.